Okay, I guess we can get started. So welcome to our Meisterplan product webinar. We have a few quick housekeeping items. The webinar will be recorded and we'll upload it to YouTube afterwards. During our Q&A session, you can raise your hand if you have any questions, or you can simply go to the question panel and type your questions in there. And we welcome your feedback in our post-webinar survey. My name is Angela. I'm a product marketing specialist here at Meisterplan, and I'm here with my colleagues Debbie Somerville, Director of Customer Success, and Susanna Sam, Product Owner. And I will hand it over to you, Debbie, to get started.
Thanks, Angela. All right, today we have a few things on our agenda. I'll do a deep dive of one of our newest features, which is the PowerPoint integration. We then have Susanna talking about what's next on the roadmap, and we'll end with some additional Q&A. And if you have any questions along the way, be sure to submit it, and we can take the questions as it seems to fit. All right, so everyone loves PowerPoint, right? Well, Meisterplan has a new feature that integrates seamlessly with PowerPoint, and excited to get you to see that today. Now, as you start trying out this feature, you may have some feedback for us. It's our first release of it, and we'd like to hear what your wishes are, or what you can imagine this to be. There is a card that is on our product roadmap under the released version tab, and you can give feedback directly here. So please, as you're starting to use this new feature, give us the feedback. We definitely want to hear what you have to say. As a reminder, new features are announced in an email for our email newsletter. So someone at your site should have be signed up for our product newsletter. You can also see new features within Meisterplan in the top right corner, but you definitely want to be able to know when these things have arrived and ask if you would like to do a deep dive if you have a dedicated customer success manager. All right, let's get started to show off this new feature. I first want to show the administrators some setup items, okay? In the user group settings, it's important that the system administrators or some user group has the setting for us to be able to upload Meisterplan templates. So that needs to be checked. By default, it was unchecked as this feature got released. So be sure to check at least for the system admins that you're able to upload PowerPoint templates. This feature also assumes that you have export data security, and that typically is there, but just in case, check those two settings, please. All right. So now let's get started with what this can do for you, and then I'll show you how to modify the template and to be able to use it. So if I'm looking at one project at a time, I now have the ability to export to PowerPoint, okay? When I do this, it's grabbing a template and understanding what data I have here and where it belongs in that template. So if I open up this PowerPoint and show it to you, you can see that it's brought in the data that was part of the details I was looking at for unified communication platforms. It brings over and maps the project manager, maybe the program name, any of the custom fields you have, any of the KPIs that we have, many of the KPIs that we have available to show you here. We also give you the ability to print milestones in a little table. Now, there's also a way that you can do this in mass. So say I was in the list view and I highlighted a few different projects here. I can also export to PowerPoint all those projects at one time, and then they would all be in one PowerPoint. All right, maybe thumbs up with what you guys are seeing here. There is a really nice integration help article that I would like to bring your attention to because it's going to help with this next step. In the integration section, click on PowerPoint. This is where the template is stored, okay? This help article allows us to see what you can do with modifying this template. Perhaps you have your own PowerPoint today that you are doing some status reports on. It's already got your color schemes. We can use that as the basis for this new PowerPoint. You don't have to use our template, okay? Preparing your template, it gives you a list of fields that you have available. This is important, and I'll show you where you can find some of this information within Meisterplan. But what's important to know is you can bring in your custom fields. Those are found in your Manage section under Project Fields. All your custom fields are going to start with CUST for custom. So I will show you where to find that name, but it's what we call the API or the backend name, and that's what you need to put in your template. You may want one of the OBS fields that are linked to your projects, and in that case, you would use OBS underscore and the name of your OBS. I'll show you that as well to make sure you understand where that's at. All your milestone fields would, depending on what you want to show, are those names. And then any out of the box field for the system fields, here are the names you can use. You would actually put it in between the less than and greater than sign. So on all these fields, you have a less than, the field name, the greater than sign. And that's how we would build the template. All right, so let me show you how to use all this. You can open up the template and get this downloaded. I've done that already. And this is what the template looks like after you download it. You can see what you're doing here. You're creating a page and you're putting one of the fields that you want from the project details directly here on the page. So here I want my project status. Up here is where I want the project name. Here is where I want project type. This all can change. When you change it, you just need to indicate where you want each of the fields to reside, okay? After your modifications, you save the template, and then you can upload it directly here. You go and find it where you saved it, and you replace this template. So it's as easy as that. The field names and where to place them and what the field names are. Let me show you how to find that easily in your environment. First off, were the OBS fields. So if you had a department OBS, that's the name of the OBS, but in order to put it on the template, you would put OBS underscore department. If you were using this one, you would put OBS underscore office. All right, so you get the idea probably for that. Custom fields. Any of the custom fields you have for project fields can be used. When you're looking at the field name, you're not picking the one you see here at the top. You have to pick the API name that's on the second row here. So you might have to go into the custom fields and look for this name to know exactly what it is so that project details can map it to your template. When you upload the template, let's go over there. It will go through an error check. So if I want to, I just have this on the side. I'm going to replace it, and I'm going to drag this into, I think, maybe. I want to grab it from where I saved it and drag the file name over there. I could also search where it's stored in my SharePoint site. So now when I upload the template, I go through a step called validate. And what it's going to do is validate, there's not things we're not supporting. So as of right now, we don't support everything in there. So for example, there's a list of, we can find it here. There will be a list of things we're just not supporting, like like some of the add-ins might not work. Okay, 3D models probably won't work. Cameos are not going to work. Smart art graphics. So here's some of the things that won't work today, and when you upload it, it will validate for the things that won't work. Some of the add-ins should work, but the validation would tell you if it's going to be an error. All right.
Debbie, there are some questions that we might
Sounds
want
good.
to answer. First question is from Kenny. Are there limits to the number of projects that can be exported into one PowerPoint?
I don't think so, Susanna.
Yeah, it's like 100.
100. Okay.
Yeah, 100.
Good question.
But we welcome any feedback. If you say, 100 not enough, please let us know. We are trying to limit it so the system doesn't go whoop. Yeah. And then Sue had her hand up. So she has a question on how much text can be displayed.
So the when you're looking at the template, if you're thinking of bringing in, say, your description or your notes, it's going to auto adjust to this box that you have here. So if you do have longer notes, you would likely, let me just copy that down for a second. And if thinking of these notes, if you had longer notes, you want at least enough room here for it to expand, because beyond this point, it won't expand further. So how many lines of the notes you think is reasonable, you would have to adjust your template for that, but it would expand appropriately within the box that you created for it.
Right. And then Kenny had another question. Can you pull program information into there or group projects by program within? That's a really good question. At the moment, I think it's going by the order that is in the list, right, Debbie? That you have given in the list.
Yeah, today it's not grouping by program, and besides the program name, we're not doing program fields here. But that is good feedback, and I would welcome or ask you to submit some of that feedback directly to the board, because these are the things we do want to hear to say, how would this evolve? What are you looking for? What's important?
Yeah. More questions. Can you, Sue asks, can you include a roadmap for that project into that slide? So with roadmap, you probably mean the schedule,
Probably the
yeah, when
Gantt.
the Gantt, when the milestones will appear,
So
right?
today, yeah, I bet that means Gantt if needed. Sue, please re-ask the question if it's not. We only display the start and finish date along with the milestones here. Feedback on showing the Gantt with the milestones could be added to the card. Again, those, how important is that to you? Our product team would be able to gather those feedbacks after today's call.
Mhm. Yes, the Gantt is meant. Yeah. And then can you ask, can the template be as many pages as you want? It can be multiple pages, but I'm not sure about the limit. I think it's 10,
10
5 or
pages.
10 pages, 5 or 10 pages.
We
So
can get back to you on that.
yeah,
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 it definitely is multiple pages. That's a good question if it's 5 or 10, but why don't we get back to you, Kenny?
right. 5 is great.
All right, probably have that.
All right. And then a question is, can I create my different templates?
So in our current first release, there's only one. However, we have on our roadmap the ability, if you're a pro or premium edition, to have up to 9 templates. So the default one and then 9 others. Then when you're going to submit to PowerPoint, it would ask which template do you want to use. So that's on our roadmap, soon to come. But right now it's 1, but it will be up to 9 custom ones.
All right, nice
Any other
one.
questions, Susanna?
Not so far. If some more questions come to you, we will have a Q&A at the end. So I think we can continue to the next topic.
Sounds good.
All right. Then it's my turn, right?
Yes.
So I will show you what we are planning to do and release in January, hopefully January, which is the project risks. And I will show you a little bit of a mix between design documents and what we already have behind feature toggle, so you can't see it, but I can show you. So as we were talking about the risks and making it possible for our customers to include risk management into their projects, we encountered lots of different risk management frameworks. And I'm pretty sure if there's 8 people here and 8 different risk frameworks, but all of them had one thing in common, which is a scoring system. So what we are planning to release is a way of first adding a table called risks to the project, and then making this table configurable. So unlike milestones and financial events, this table will be configurable with custom fields. And this is just an example on how it could look like. All risk entries would have a name that's necessary and a key for using APIs. But the rest is more or less free to configure. And then we offer a calculation between impact and likelihood. With all risk frameworks that we looked at had these 2 dimensions. Sometimes they have different names, like severity, for example, or probability of occurrence. But they all do the same thing. They multiply 2 numbers and give the results a label. Yeah. And this is then all configurable. So you don't have to take the names that are shown here. You can configure your own scoring system and then have it displayed and, of course, edited in the risk table. I'll show you briefly how the configuration works, and then we can talk about your questions. So first of all, the risks will have a very simple user right, similar to milestones and financial events. So it will be located in the project rights, and you basically can always see the risk table if your admin has configured it, but you might want only certain user groups to actually work with the risk, add and edit and delete them, and the rest of the people should probably only see them. Any questions here regarding rights before continuing? Otherwise, do it later. Very good. And then the second part is that you can add custom fields for risks. So this is very blank now because it's the very start. So there's 3 fields that will always be there. Is impact, likelihood, and the resulting risk level. And I'll go a little bit more into detail on one of those. They behave like a single select field with a drop down, but you can decide how many steps you want to have, how many score steps you want to have. So some might have just low, medium, high. In this case, I configured 5, but you can put as many as you want. Typically, it's somewhere between 3 and 6, but depending on your scoring system can be more. And then you do the same for the likelihood, and then you can configure the risk level. The risk level, as you can see here, is a calculated field, so you don't have to do any calculations yourself. So it's likelihood times impact. It's a number field, and here you can give your risk scoring a coloring and a name. So in this example, I just had low, medium, high, and then we kind of thought, oh, maybe there's also a super high risk that I want to be pink, and it's called like call the boss immediately. Yeah, so escalate immediately, and you can define how these ranges should behave. You can also, doesn't have to be linear. You can also say from 10 to 50, it's low, and then from 50 to 1,000, it's medium. So that depends very much on how you are dealing with risks in your organization. And then once you have this configured, you can configure the risk table into your project details. And that again depends on type. So you could, for example, decide, yes, on regular projects, I want risk management, then I put the table. And on run the business projects, I don't want it, so I don't put the table. So there's some flexibility here. And this works like you might know the workflow. So you just select risks, and then it creates the risk table at the bottom. And now it's the part where our implementation stops, and I have to go back to mockups. So basically, after you've done this, sorry for the scrolling. After you've done all of these things, you can configure the columns that you want to have. That means you can also have different types of columns depending on your project type. Yeah, this is the same configuration style as we do for the project list, except for this will be saved in the project details. And that's about it. You can just use the risks as you know any other table. Any questions? Are there any questions? Are there any questions?
No questions at the moment, but if anyone thinks of anything, they can still ask it during our Q&A session at the end.
All right. Now we need to go back to the PowerPoint.
Yes, thank you so much. I will share the PowerPoint. Okay, yes, thank you. Now that we've had a little sneak peek at this feature, I wanted to walk through our product roadmap so we can take another look at what our team at Meisterplan is working on. Okay, our first topic is Meisterplan AI. Supported project maintenance is planned for a beta release in January. And with this, we want to reduce manual effort of preparing board updates by allowing AI to analyze and summarize project information. This will hopefully make communication faster and more consistent and accessible to everybody. Another AI topic is generate optimized scenarios. And a scenario optimization algorithm in the portfolio designer will automatically adjust selected projects within a defined time frame, balance priorities, and then generate an optimized scenario for easy comparison. And this is also planned for beta in Q1 of next year. We are also working to make financial planning more intuitive by allowing users to enter and adjust financial values directly in a time-based grid, so you won't need to create separate events for each period. And this is planned for the first half of next year. We're also working to support negative financial event values in the future, so customers can record counter bookings like discounts, and this will make financial event management even more accurate and usable. Excuse me. Capture notes for actual time worked, planned as well for the first half of next year. We want to let users add notes directly to individual time entries in the My Schedule view, and this would make time reporting clearer by having all of the details in one place. This is something we're very excited about. We want to embed Meisterplan project details directly in Microsoft Teams so that people can access project insights and status updates without having to leave the Teams app. And this will hopefully make communication a lot faster and more accessible. And it's planned for the first half of 2026. Own data management planned for January or February. We want to let team members manage their own absence data directly in the My Schedule view, and this would reduce manager workload and improve overall data quality through new targeted permissions. And the last feature I want to highlight today is granular resource allocation responsibility. And with this, we want to improve resource data quality by introducing granular resource pool permissions that control who can edit what resource data, so users get exactly the access they need while other resources remain read-only. That was a really quick look at what we're working on, but if you want to learn more, you can go to our product roadmap. You can see what we're implementing, what we're considering, and you can vote, share your thoughts, or submit your own ideas, and then our product management team will look into it. I will also take this opportunity to plug our YouTube channel. So you can go there for monthly updates, Wednesday tips, and keep up with series like our current 24 Days of Meisterplan and Jira. I also want to invite you to join our LinkedIn group if you're not already in that. It's run by our product management team, so it's really the place to be if you want to keep up with Meisterplan updates and know exactly what's going on. And finally, meisterplan.com/explore/events, or just scan the QR code. This is where you can find out about upcoming webinars or browse our catalog of on-demand videos, where you'll also be able to find this webinar once we've uploaded it. That brings us to our Q&A session. And I see we already have a question. I've noticed Meisterplan keeps adding great features, which really fits how we manage portfolios. As you add more, it feels like the tool is edging toward project execution rather than just planning. Where do you see Meisterplan going long term? Will it stay focused on planning or lean more into execution?
Yeah, maybe I can answer that. So yeah, you've seen maybe also on the roadmap that we are doing quite a lot of features that are coming like from the bottom, so to speak. So helping project managers to keep data up to date via Jira, via financial grid. But we believe very strongly that this helps the higher management to do better planning. We have some features planned from the other side. So going from the portfolio dashboard, for example, to really see, is my planning matching my strategic goals, like making the dashboard much more flexible so you can see do I have enough capacity? Do I need to hire people? These kind of questions. So if you want to give us feedback on the dashboard side of things, on the planning side of things, very much appreciated. There should be a link on the roadmap to book an appointment directly with me. And by the end, by Q1, we will probably know how to move forward and present it in one of the seminars. Okay.
Thanks. There's another question about the AI.
On AI, very good.
Will
Yeah, so
Meisterplan treat AI as a closed ecosystem, or will there be options to integrate with other platforms?
That's a very interesting question that we discussed this morning also, like how our AI roadmap will look very specifically. Yes, so at the moment, the Meisterplan AI that we will release at the beginning of the year is a very closed system for data security reasons. Yeah? We can't just go and use services and push your data somewhere. That's not allowed. But we are planning to provide an ecosystem where you can integrate with your own platform. And that's going to be very exciting. It's also one of the first things that we want to do. So there's a part where we develop models or where we work with models that focus on very specific questions like intelligent staffing. But we know that a lot of larger companies have their own models and would like to integrate it. And yes, I can now say, yes, that's planned.
Thank you. Another question. This one is about the project risks feature. Is there a possibility to assign risks to a specific person?
Yes. Actually, I can show you how you do that because we've implemented that already. I'm going to steal your screen, Angela. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you can do when you do your custom fields, you can say, okay, I want a risk owner. Yeah, and then that will show up as a column. You can also say, okay, I want them needs to be mitigated by. Then you have a date column. So yes, this will be possible. It's one of the first things we got as feedback. Please have a risk owner.
That's great. Thank you. Are there any other questions? If not, if you think of anything later, feel free to reach out to us and we'll get back to you. But yes, any closing words, Debbie or Susanna?
No, just your feedback's really important to us. You know, the primary way to do that is through our card that you can get through our roadmap to the help from the help system and see our product roadmap and give feedback there. Encourage you guys to do that. Take a look at what you have, and we'll get back on those other questions that we were wondering about ourselves. And in the meantime, appreciate you guys and your engagement. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you all.